Hello everyone and welcome back to the Denver Broncos franchise. In the last episode, we absolutely blew out the Arizona Cardinals, and in today's episode, we will face off against our biggest challenge so far this season, which is the Baltimore Ravens. If you're curious about what our schedule looks like the rest of the season, here it is. We play the Ravens, the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Seahawks, the Dolphins, the Niners, the Panthers. Our bye week isn't until week 10, and then we play the Titans, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Jets, the Raiders, the Chargers again, the Rams, and the Raiders to finish off the regular season. It's not a particularly difficult schedule on paper, and we're about to enter the most difficult part of it. I would say from week 3 against the Ravens until week 8 against the 49ers is the toughest part of this schedule this year. The Broncos are absolutely crushing it to start the season. Dennis Colbert has 570 yards on 72% completion percentage, 7 touchdowns, and has yet to throw a pick so far this year. He has a 148.6 rating on the season. The rushing game hasn't been there as much, but it hasn't needed to be. 24 attempts, 124 yards for Tajay Spears with 2 touchdowns. Our lead receiver so far this year is actually Rashad Winters, and then Jerry Perry, and then Chester Truman. But I actually think it's a really good sign that we haven't needed to use Chester Truman very much this season in order to get wins. But in the last episode, we did lose DeMarcus Stockton to a broken collarbone. The rookie wide receiver will miss the next 6 weeks, and that includes this week. He's on injured reserve, which I believe means he can return after 4 weeks, but obviously he is out for 6. And because of that injury, we have promoted Daniel Truman to the active roster rather than the practice squad. You probably won't see him very much, but just know he's on the team, and there's a chance that you'll see him on the field. But anyway, we have a lot to go over before we get into this week's game, so let's get started. First and foremost, the first mock draft has been released. I have not looked at any of the prospects yet. This mock draft doesn't mean a whole lot, but if you're curious about who is available in the first round, here it is. We actually have a first round pick this year. We won't have to trade for one. Currently, it is anticipated to be the 31st, and we're expected to take left end Aaron Meeks out of Georgia. We also had a weekly award winner from a week ago, and it was Dennis Colbert, 14 of 20, 238 passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns. All of that was just in the first half. I mentioned that we have a lot of players that need to negotiate new contracts going into this season, and I think that we're going to try to sign Drew Sanders to a long-term deal right now. I'd love to lock him up for a long time. Let's go 6 years. He's currently 24, so he'll be 30 at the end of this contract, and I'm actually relatively happy with this contract as it is. It's not actually as expensive as I was anticipating. I'm going to go ahead and make him this offer, and he has accepted. So Drew Sanders, the MLB1 of the future for this Broncos team. We won't sign anyone else just yet, but just know that it is in the back of my mind. We've got a heavy rain forecast for today. Looks like it's going to be raining for the entire game this week and probably won't take long for the conditions to get pretty sloppy. I say we focus on running the ball then. We've been throwing a lot. The run game could use some work, and if we're getting some boosts from this, I'd like the boosts to go to the run game. Beat the Ravens and rack up 150 plus rushing yards. That is not what I was expecting. And with that out of the way, we'll get into the weekly strategy. We're of course facing off against Lamar Jackson, who is one of the best scrambling quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. So we're definitely going to try to contain the QB scramble against him. And then as always, I just want to focus on running inside. And with training out of the way, we're checking to see if we have any injuries for this week's matchup. Offense is healthy, and the defense looks to be healthy as well. No injuries to speak of outside of the DeMarcus Stockton injury. There are some players available to upgrade, one of those being Chester Truman, our favorite man in the whole wide world. He needs to get his medium route running up. That's pretty much the only thing he's not great at the moment. Would also love to get his release up because it's not quite as good as you would hope for with a guy that's such a great deep threat. He gets 2 catching and 2 deep route running and 1 awareness, so nothing of what I wanted. And the other guy that has an upgrade is his duo, Dennis Colbert. He has 90 short, 89 medium, and 82 deep accuracy. It's true 89 short and true 88 medium. Would love to get him better at play action, throw on the run, and under pressure. So we'll probably go into improviser for him because that hits a lot of those attributes. He gets 1 break sack, 1 throw act deep, 1 throw act short, 1 throw on the run, and 1 throw under pressure. Pretty good upgrade for Dennis Colbert. He's also now a true 80 overall. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get into this matchup against the Ravens. The first road game of the season comes in Baltimore. as the Broncos take on this Ravens team, a Ravens team that is not quite what it once was. Their overall as a team is down to 83, where in previous years it's been all the way up to like 88. So definitely not the roster that they used to have, but still a very solid football team, and you can never be too sure about what Lamar Jackson's gonna do. Justin Tucker will kick us off, and we are underway here in Denver. It's Jerry Perry back to return, but he'll take a fair catch, and the Denver offense that has been red hot this season. We'll see if they can continue that against this Ravens defense. Here we go. 1st and 10 from the 25. Can the red hot Broncos offense keep it up against a more stout defense featuring guys like Patrick Queen and guys like Roquan Smith? And Patrick Queen is the one who blew that last play up. It's now 2nd and 11 for the Broncos, and it'll go to Spears again. He gets to the 28, it'll be 3rd and 7. Also, I'm just realizing there's absolutely zero rain, so we got completely scammed by that thing that was talking about having severe rain during today's game, as that one is caught, and that is Cole Langford, who's going to see a lot more time on the field with DeMarcus Stockton being injured. Cole Langford, as I've mentioned a billion times, is 6'9", but he's not as fast as DeMarcus Stockton. That's what we're going to miss from Stockton, is that he was tall but also had incredible speed, where Langford's a little slower but obviously absolutely gigantic. And now Quinn Miners goes down with an injury after a second catch for Cole Langford. 1st and 10 of the 46, handoff, Spears cuts it back up the middle and then laid out by Roquan. 2nd and 5 from the 42. Dennis back to throw, has Chester Truman right side by himself, makes one man miss, gets a few extra yards for his efforts, and to the 21, 3 for 3 to start the day for Dennis Colbert. Elbow sprain for Quinn Miners will keep him out for now, but his re-injury risk is low. Dennis Colbert is playing like an MVP in his 2nd season so far, and this time he'll look to throw again. Has his man, it's Chester Truman, and he's got his 2nd grab of the day. Only had 2 grabs in each of the first 2 games, and already has 2 grabs here in the first drive of game number 3. 1st and goal from the 5. Dennis back to pass, wants Langford, has him, and he holds on through the hit but can't find the end zone. Makes it 2nd and goal, and we're going toss to Spears. Cuts it back, tackled forward, but down at the 1. 3rd and goal, Denver. From the 1, 3rd down and goal. We're going back to Spears. Can he punch it in? No, he can't. Just short. 4th and goal at the 1 now. We'll see what the Broncos elect to do. The offense remains on the field. Colbert out of the shotgun with Spears to his right. Will look to throw. Goes in zone, touchdown, but knocked out of Cole Langford's hands. I thought he held on for long enough. Evidently, he did not. And it is incomplete. 4th and goal turns into 1st down for the Ravens, starting from inside their own 1. So obviously a precarious position for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see what he does out of the pistol. It's going to be handoff to Dobbins, finds a lane, brought down by Eddie Jackson at the 3 and gives them a little bit of breathing room. 2nd and 7 from the 3, still out of that same pistol formation. We'll see if they go back to Dobbins again, and they do. Avery Baptiste is all over it, though. A loss of 1 for Baltimore. An excellent TFL from Avery Baptiste. 3rd and 8 from the 2 now for the Ravens. Lamar hands off again to Dobbins, and he's not going to get the 1st down yardage. Freshly re-signed Drew Sanders makes the tackle. It's 4th down, and the Ravens will punt it away. A big return for Jerry Perry. He's to the 30. I think he's going to be gone. He's out of gas, though. Can he get into the end zone? No, he's pushed out at the 2. He has some of the best speed in all of the NFL, but he ran out of stamina. Couldn't make it the whole way there. Made a huge juke move, had the blocks, had the green in front of him, just not conditioned enough. And it's going to be 1st and goal for Denver to start this drive. From the 2, it's 1st down and goal. Broncos, Chester Truman, end zone, touchdown. Dennis Colbert to Chester Truman. Name a better duo in all of the NFL. I don't think there is one, as Truman gets his touchdown numbers up. Currently, our touchdown leader in terms of receiving is Jerry Perry. Chester Truman not trying to let that happen, and it's 6 on the board for Denver. So now the Ravens got themselves an excellent kickoff return, And they'll start from their own 40 with really good field position. J.K. Dobbins, who is surprisingly fast to the right side, and Justin Reed able to bring him down before he gets too far. To the 35, though, already in Denver territory. What a crazy start to the day this has been, as Lamar Jackson is out of the pistol once more. And he's keeping it this time, but it's Zach Allen. Call him Sack Allen. A loss of 3. Not technically a sack since it was a designed run, but we'll count it in our hearts. Dante Wake, by the way, was injured on that last play as well. He'll miss the rest of today's game with a bruised sternum. And that is a first down for Dobbins on the very next play, and he is running all over us so far. This rush defense, kind of looking like the rush defense of seasons past, has been very good through the first 2 games of this season, but looking to struggle a bit against Dobbins. Zach Allen, though, only allows 2 yards on that carry. 2nd down and 8, and this is a throw for Mark Andrews. Justin Reed was in coverage, but he wasn't over there, and he kept him out of the end zone. At the 1 is Mark Andrews, and the Ravens will have 1st and goal to start the 2nd quarter. So at the half-yard line, nearly inside of half a yard to go. 1st and goal from the 1, and it's a keeper for Lamar, and he's there. The only guy who read it was Drew Sanders, and he wasn't fast enough. Lamar Jackson finds the end zone, and the Ravens tie this one up rather quickly. 6 on the board for them, 7 pending the PAT, and we've got a tie game here in Baltimore. The Broncos back on the field in normal field position for the first time in the last couple drives. It'll be a handoff to Spears up the middle. Got a good block from Rashad Winters and gets to the 32. Eddie Jackson has broken ribs and will not be able to return for this game. A lot of Broncos players going down with injury today. Ordinarily, Eddie Jackson would be replaced by Dante Wake, but he's out for the remainder of the game as well. So we're actually going to let J.L. Skinner replace Eddie Jackson for the remainder of today's game. This Broncos team appears to be doing very well this season. Let's hope it's not derailed by injuries. That would be very unfortunate, as Colbert tried to get it off to Chester Truman. 3rd and 3 after the incompletion. 3rd and 3. Dennis to throw. Has Rashad Winters wide open on the right. Nobody covered him. He's to the 50. 1st and 10 Denver. From midfield, it's Dennis Colbert back to pass. Cole Langford wide open over the middle, and he's got it down to the 30. The big fella getting involved today in place of DeMarcus Stockton. You love to see it. From the 30, it's 1st down and 10. First time we're seeing A.J. Dillon today, and he gets a good run to the outside. The only man to beat was Hamilton, and he couldn't do it. Pickup of 3. 2nd down and 7 from the 27. We'll throw left side for Chester Truman. There was not a lot of time to throw for Dennis, but he got it off, and now it's 3rd and short. From the 23, it's 3rd down. We're going to try to get Cole Langford over the middle again, but it's knocked out by Roquan Smith. 4th and 3 for the Broncos, and we'll have to attempt a field goal to take the lead. The kick from Tanner Brown is up, and it is right down the middle. And it's a 10-7 lead for the Denver Broncos. The Ravens back on offense after Denver added 3. Find themselves down a field goal with 7 minutes left here in the first half, as that is a wildly inaccurate throw from Lamar Jackson. They really love this pistol formation here in Baltimore, as Lamar is in it once again. And it's a keeper for him. Juked out one man and then broke a tackle from Justin Reed. PS2 saved a touchdown with that tackle just now. He's to the 47, though. 1st and 10 Baltimore. We're sending these blitzes, but they keep biting on the running back for some reason. I'd rather them bite on Lamar, as this one is actually a handoff to the running back, J.K. Dobbins. And it's a pickup of 3. He already has 50 yards rushing on the day. Lamar in that same pistol formation will hand off to Dobbins. Got really good blocking, good speed from Avery Baptiste, though. Sets the edge, makes the tackle. Still a 1st down, but could have been a lot more had Baptiste not been there. Baltimore loves the run game so far. Very, very few passes. 1st and 10 from the 38. So Lamar has all day to throw. Throws over the middle and finds his man. That is a pickup of 9. That was Romeo Doubs on the reception. Zay Flowers and Romeo Doubs are the 1 and 2 wide receivers on this Ravens roster. 2nd and 1. Launching one down the field. Wants Zay Flowers. It's poked away by PS2. Good coverage from the best corner in the league. 3rd down and 1 from the 29. Lamar will keep it, and he'll get the first down yardage. How much more is he going to get, though? Quincy Walls puts a stop to his carry at the 20, but it's 1st and 10 in the red zone for Baltimore with only 4 minutes left in the second. With 4 minutes remaining, 1st and 10. Zay Flowers was the target, but PS2 makes an incredible play, and it falls incomplete. He got beat off the line, but he more than made up for it with this diving play. Shout out PS2. So 2nd and 10 should have been a touchdown on the last play if it weren't for an amazing play by Patrick Surtain, and now it's a sack on Lamar Jackson. Cameron Bynum with half a sack, and it was JL Skinner with the other half. The 2 safeties showing up in a big way, and now it's going to be 3rd and 19. Zach Allen, call him Sack Allen, was also involved in that sack. 3rd down and 19 from the 29, a long ways to go for Lamar Jackson. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be him. He's lobbing towards the end zone. Would have been intercepted had Quincy Walls been in bounds, but he was not. 4th and 19, and it looks like Baltimore will match the field goal. So Denver with the opportunity to add some additional points before the half. 3 minutes left in the second. It's tied up at 10. From the 25, it's play action, and Dennis will look to throw. He has his man. It's Chester Truman down the field, wide open, outrunning Marlon Humphrey. Gets to midfield, 1st down, Denver. Still lots of time on the clock. We don't have to rush anything. 2.5 minutes left here in the second. From the 49, we're going to go to the run game, and the blocks were missed by Zion Johnson. So we are now past the 2-minute warning, 2nd and 9 from the 50. We'll go over the middle for Chester Truman, and it's now going to be 3rd and 2 at the 43. Chester Truman a lot more involved in the offense today. I wonder if that has anything to do with the DeMarcus Stockton injury. 3rd down and 2 from the 43. Stepping up and throwing over the middle for Cole Langford, who's to the 25 and goes down for a 1st down, Denver. 1 minute left here in the first half. 1st and 10 from the 25. Dennis back to throw. Just has to throw this one away. Was met with immediate pressure and will live to fight another down. 2nd down and 10. 59 seconds left in the half as we'll go over the middle to the left side more like for Chester Truman. He gets to the 6. It's a 1st and goal for the Broncos. Now there's only 30 seconds left and we're from the 6. Setting up a screen for A.J. Dillon. Can he get the blockers he needs? It looks like he will, and it's a touchdown off of the truck for A.J. Dillon. Ran over Marlon Humphrey at the very end of that play, and it's 6 points for Denver. And they'll take the lead into halftime, up 17-10 pending the PAT. So there you have it, the end of the first half. Denver in control, but definitely not going quite as smoothly as the first 2 games. 17-10 is your score. The offense still playing very well, but the defense not as much. Still playing a lot better than we saw last season, but not quite as good as in the first 2 games. We'll take a look around the league here in halftime as the Chiefs. Are they starting 3-0 this season? They are. Wow, 42-3 over the New York Jets. The Chiefs looking as dominant as ever as now we head to South Beach, Miami, facing off against the Cardinals. They're up 17-3 just before halftime. And the Eagles hosting the Bears, where they are winning 28-21 with 1 second left in the first half. By the way, if you didn't notice, the Cardinals are now starting Dalton Greenfield, who was their backup quarterback, instead of Kyler Murray. 1st and 10 for Baltimore. They will start with the ball here in the second half, as this is a weird play to Zay Flowers, and Drew Sanders is all over it, but he did fall forward, so it's a pickup of 4. I feel like the Ravens did not put their best foot forward in the first half, anticipating a little bit better from them here in the second half after the adjustments. On 2nd down and 6, it's a handoff to Dobbins. Still a lot of run plays here in Baltimore. That's only good for 2 yards, and now it's 3rd down. 3rd and 4 from the 31 for Lamar and the Ravens. Can he make something happen? Out of the shotgun, throws for Dobbins, and it's forced out by Devin Bush. And it's going to be a 3 and out to start the second half for Baltimore. The Denver defense showing up in a big way. 1st and 10, Denver, starting from their own 20 after the touchback on the punt. And it's a carry for Tajay Spears, who has 8 rushes for 27 yards so far today. 2nd down and 3 from the 27. Going back to Spears, and he's got the 1st down. We did have that challenge to get a bunch of rushing yards, but that was under the assumption that this was going to be a rainy game, which does not appear to be the case, because we're actually going to audible out of the run play here. 1st and 10, Denver. Back to pass. And over the middle, looking for Cole Langford, is Dennis Colbert. And he's been very involved today and very, very good. To the 38 in Baltimore territory goes Langford. So after the big play for the big fella, 1st and 10 from the 38. And it's Spears who cuts this one back, but then goes down after what is only a pickup of 1. 2nd and 9 from the 38. Guess what they did? They left Chester in one-on-one coverage. You don't do that. Chester Truman to the end zone. Touchdown, Denver. Chester is just far too fast off the line to be left in one-on-one coverage with really anyone in the NFL. Unless you got a 99 speed, 99 excel receiver, I would suggest double covering this man. Baltimore's defense just with no answers, as has been the case for every defense we've faced so far. Offense has looked very, very good to start the year. Lamar tries to get away, but tackled by Drew Sanders and Baron Browning, and there's the done deal contract length, 6 years with a big salary for Drew Sanders. We wanted to lock up our superstar middle linebacker for a lot of years to come. I think he's going to be very, very worth it. 2nd and 11 for the Ravens. A good carry here for Dobbins. Tried to truck the air, though, which lost all of his momentum, and now it's 3rd and 7. Play action and then a throw over the middle, which is caught. And this time, is that Romeo Doubs? It is. Still haven't seen any of Nico Collins, who is the 3rd wide receiver on this roster. A big play, though, for the Ravens puts them in Denver territory at the 47. 1st and 10 from there with 4 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Out of the pistol again, Lamar hands off to Dobbins, who's met by Justin Reed, who brings him down at the 45. So the Ravens offense able to move for sure, just maybe not as quickly as they would hope, as this one is caught by Zay Flowers. Tried to juke out PS2, but couldn't make it happen, and it's another 3rd down. The big issue for the Ravens right now is that they keep ending up in these weird 3rd down situations. Let's see if they can convert here on 3rd and 4 from the 41. Throwing to Mark Andrews, who's by himself on the right side, and that's an easy 1st down for the Ravens to the 31. From the 31, it's a handoff to Dobbins, and he's met in the backfield. 2nd and 9 from the 31. Can they find the end zone, make this game a little bit closer here in the 4th? As this one is complete to Dobbins, Drew Sanders brings him down, and it's another 3rd down for the Ravens. Under 2 minutes here in the 3rd, and it's another 3rd down for the Ravens from the 24. Lamar will fake the handoff to Dobbins, then go over the middle, finding his man, and it's a 1st and 10 again for Baltimore. From inside the red zone, the Ravens looking to chip away at this Denver lead. Just over a minute left in the 3rd, and that's punched out by Drew Sanders. Drew Sanders, the only other guy on this Broncos team with the ability to punch things out the same way that PS2 does, which makes him extremely valuable in the middle of the field, as this is a screen setup for Nico Collins, and it actually worked relatively well. JL Skinner pushes him out of the 8, but it's 1st and goal Baltimore. Lamar by himself in the backfield on 1st and goal, looking to throw, obviously stepping up, throwing for Flowers. And he gets to the 3 before he's brought down, and that could be the end of the 3rd quarter. Will they snap the ball before the clock hits 0 on the 3rd? I'm thinking they will, and they do, and it's a keeper for Lamar Jackson. It's actually an option, and he gets it to Dobbins, and he gets into the end zone, and it's a touchdown for Baltimore to end the 3rd quarter. They decrease the lead by 6-7 pending the PAT. It'll be 24-17 for the Broncos as we head into the 4th. 10 minutes left to play. Denver starts with the ball here in the 4th quarter with a touchdown lead. Dennis Colbert is back to pass. There's a blitz on its way, so we get the ball off quickly. It's Rashad Winters. He has not been overly involved today, but comes up big when it matters. 1st down, Denver. From the 37, it's another 1st and 10, and it's another blitz, actually, for the Ravens. And I saw Chester a little too late, but we were under pressure anyway. I don't think Dennis was getting it there. 2nd down and 10 for the Broncos. Some running room for A.J. Dillon, who gets a 1st down to the 49 and will continue to kill some clock. 1st and 10 from the 49. Spears back in the game, and he'll get the carry, but the blocking just not there for him. And it's still 2nd down and 10 to go. 8 minutes left in today's matchup. Dennis back to pass. Wants his man. It's Cole Langford, and he's got him. It's a pickup of 6, and it sets up a 3rd and 4 from the Baltimore 45. This would be a huge 3rd down conversion for the Broncos, as it would allow them to kill more clock, and it also pushes them into field goal range, where right now I feel like they're probably not there. Deontay Canty is wide open. He gets involved for the first time today, and it's in time for a huge first down for the Broncos. 7 minutes left, and it's 1st and 10. From the 31, first down and 10. 6.5 minutes left to play, and we're going high to the end zone for Langford, but it's punched out. One of these days, it's going to work for the big fella. Unfortunately, by doing that, we did stop the clock, which helps the Ravens. Spears will get the carry, cuts this back up the middle, and now it's 3rd and 8 with 6.5 left. Another huge 3rd down situation for Denver. 6 minutes left to play. We can get the first here. We might be able to chew a lot more clock, but we get it to Jerry Perry, and he can't get there. 4th down and 3. Denver's going to have to settle for the field goal, and this will give Baltimore a chance. Kick is up. Kick is good. And it will be 27-17 for the Broncos. So a 2-possession lead, but the door is definitely still open for the Ravens. Is Lamar Jackson clutch? That is the question, and he could answer it here today. 1st and 10 from the 25. He's got 5 minutes to get this score, but honestly, he needs to get it with some time on the clock, as that one is punched out. In an ideal world for the Ravens, you score very quickly here to then allow timeouts for your defense. And you don't use any timeouts offensively, obviously, would be the most ideal world, because that's a pickup of 7. They don't seem like they're in a very big hurry at the moment, although, like I said, there is still lots of time. 4.5 minutes, 3rd down and 3. Lamar setting up a screen. It's for J.K. Dobbins, and he's got some good running room here. Steps out of bounds. That should stop the clock at 4.5 minutes. So still no timeouts used. 4 minutes, 30 seconds. 1st and 10 from their own 45. Lamar throws quickly, finds Mark Andrews, and he is brought down by Quincy Walls and company after a pickup of 6. So they're moving, just maybe not as fast as I would have been trying to move if I were the Ravens. As Lamar's back to pass again, and throws to the right side, finding Nico Collins for the first time today. 1st and 10 Baltimore, and now they're in the hurry up. It's about time. 3.5 minutes left from their own 42, from the Denver 42, and that one is caught. To the 27 goes Nico Collins, and now they're moving right along and with some speed. Just over 3 minutes left to play. Lamar getting chased down by Leonard Williams, but he doesn't have Lamar Jackson's speed, and he breaks away. I think this is going to be a touchdown for the Ravens, and it is. Touchdown Lamar Jackson. It was only a matter of time until he got a big one with his legs. He does it here, and now the Ravens will be within 3 of the Broncos. Denver will need to chew some clock to get out of this one with a dub. 3:07 is what remains on the clock. Denver looking to tick away at that timer and get out of here with a victory. They're up 27-24. And they're, of course, starting from their own 25. It'll go to Tajay Spears first, and he'll get 4 yards, setting up a 2nd and 6. And, of course, we're chewing as much of this clock as we possibly can. 2nd down and 6. It's another handoff to Spears. Outruns Roquan, but the blocking wasn't there on the left. That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning, but now it's 3rd and 5. The entire game essentially rides on this play. Will Denver clutch it up and go 3-0, or will they give the Ravens a chance? 3rd and 5 from the 30. It's going to be a screen for Tajay Spears, and lucky that's not intercepted. Spears got bumped by one of the linemen, couldn't get out there in time, and now it's 4th and 5. We have no choice but to punt this away. So I'll ask the question again, this time with 1 minute and 48 seconds remaining. Is Lamar Jackson a clutch player? It all comes down to this drive. And it's a designed QB run, and Leonard Williams having none of it. A loss of 1 for Baltimore. They did hurry it up. There's 1 minute 30 left, 2nd and 11. Lamar getting chased by Leonard again. Finds his man. It's Mark Andrews wide open, and he gets out of bounds. Justin Tucker obviously has one of the biggest legs in NFL history. So if they're only trying to tie it, They don't have to get a whole lot further, as this one caught by Nico Collins, and now they're in Justin Tucker's field goal range. From the 42, they hurry it up again. Just over a minute left to play. Lamar back to pass, takes a hit from Devin Bush that falls incomplete. 1st and 10, 1:01 on the clock from the 42. Lamar lobs one up to Zay Flowers, and there's nobody in coverage. Touchdown, Ravens. And I sound a little dejected, and I'll explain why in just a second. The Ravens take the lead, though, leaving 56 seconds on the clock. Zay Flowers getting past PS2, and it's 6 points for Baltimore. It's my fault because I know this bug exists, but I did audible to a blitz play. I thought it would be good to get some pressure on Lamar. I saw PS2 over here on Zay Flowers and thought nothing of it. I should have looked at the play art because it would have shown that for some reason, Pat Surtain, I think, was set up to be on Mark Andrews. So you'll see he immediately just sprints to the opposite side of the field, leaving Zay Flowers completely on his own. So a bug essentially just cost the victory here for Denver, but it is what it is. I should have noted. It's been a bug the whole year. I should have realized. So now the question becomes, are the Broncos clutch? Is Dennis Colbert clutch? Can he make some magic happen? The look to throw. Immediately, you know where it's going. It's going to Chester Truman. Was it ever in doubt? Chester Truman to the end zone. Still 45 seconds left. Denver retakes the lead. They had a single high safety. Of course, I'm throwing that up to Chester Truman. Why don't you have 2 high safeties? Absolutely ridiculous defensive planning from the Ravens. Chester Truman is a cheat code, and he takes the lead back for Denver. The crazy thing about that, though, is that we may have actually left a little bit too much time on the clock. 1st and 10 from the 25. And now Baltimore gets to try this again, and that's a timeout used. 41 seconds left. Completion to Mark Andrews. We're basically in the same situation as before, where they just need a field goal to tie this up. Lamar throwing one downfield. It's dropped by Cameron Bynum, who looked like he had the pick. Wow, that would have ended the game. Cameron Bynum would have come up very clutch. Now 38 seconds left from the 41. That one is caught by Romeo Doubs, and they'll use their second timeout. 1st and 10 from the 45. Baltimore only needs a few more yards to get into Justin Tucker's field goal range, and they're going to get him with Mark Andrews. And now there's 20 seconds left. They hurry it up. 2nd down and 4 from the 38. Over the middle, punched out by Drew Sanders. And now with 14 seconds left, I imagine they kick the field goal here. They are not kicking the field goal. They are lined up to go for this on 3rd and 4 with 14 seconds left. It's a run play to Dobbins, I think probably just to set up a better field goal. And now they'll use that last timeout and honestly likely tie this game up. It's Justin Tucker, the best kicker in NFL history. This is a long one. It's about 52 yards, but that's well in his range. It's hooking right, but not far enough. And the Ravens will tie this one up. And it looks like we are headed into overtime. They did leave 2 seconds on the clock. And you know what that means? That means that Jerry Perry will get a chance to be an absolute hero for Denver. Nearly had a lane. That's the end of the 4th. We head to overtime. We have won the toss. We will, of course, elect to receive. If we score, we win. Dennis Colbert and Chester Truman did it in one play last time. Can they do it again? 1st and 10. Dennis back to throw. Couldn't get it off. Had Rashad Winters open, headed to the left side of the field. Now 2nd and 10, and it's another blitz coming for the Ravens. Get it off to Chester quickly, but it's only a pickup of 4, and now it's a 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6, not the easiest down and distance to convert. From the 27, I'm going to throw to Chester instantly. It's completed, but it's not enough. 4th and 1 from the 33. I think we have to punt this away. From the 21, the Ravens have the opportunity to win. All they need is a field goal. And we haven't been able to stop their defense at all in the second half, or excuse me, stop their offense. Our defense has not been able to stop them. Immediately, they get a huge pickup to Mark Andrews. And now it's 1st and 10 at the 44. So Lamar is back to pass over the middle, has Andrews again. Ooh, forced out by Drew Sanders, nearly a crazy play. We're honestly probably going to need somebody to come up with a big play here in order to win this game. A forced fumble and a fumble recovery, an interception, whatever it may be, but it's looking like it's all Ravens at the moment. They are already basically in Justin Tucker field goal range. 1st and 10 from the 45 in Denver territory, and it's a keeper for Lamar. Doesn't get far, only a pickup of 1. 4 minutes left in overtime, and they're basically in field goal range. I think the only way to combat this would be a sack. Be a huge time for one as Zay Flowers makes the reception. Now it's 3rd and 3 at the 38. This one kind of feels over. Somebody has to make a play. Somebody, anybody make a play. 3rd and 3. Lamar out of the shotgun is looking to throw, so there could be an interception here. You never know. Falling forward is Dobbins, and they have a fresh set of downs once again. Now well in field goal range. I imagine they'll just be running the ball to try to set up Justin Tucker better and better. Actually, they're throwing Lamar down the field. Quincy Walls went for it, couldn't get to it. And it's a 1st and 10 for Baltimore at the 15. Wonder if they're still throwing the ball here. Could be throwing the game away if they are. 1st and 10 at the 15. Lamar will hand off to Dobbins. Has a good running lane up the middle. Tripped up by Justin Reed. Now it's 2nd and 2 at the 7. It's going to take an absolute miracle for Denver to win this football game. 2nd and 2 from the 7-yard line. Handoff Dobbins. 2-minute warning. 3rd and 3. It pretty much all comes down to this. You got to make a play if you're Denver. J.K. Dobbins does not fumble. And now it's 4th and 1. I mean, we'll use a timeout, but I don't think it's going to matter. The only hope is to block the Justin Tucker field goal, or Denver will take their first loss on the season. Can anybody do it? They cannot. Justin Tucker's kick is up. It's good. 37-34 is your final. The Ravens take the victory. So there you have it. Denver chokes away a 24-17 lead. I think it was actually 24-10 at one point even, and loses this one to the Ravens. We scored on that one bomb to Chester Truman way too fast, unfortunately, and that is ultimately how we lost this football game. We were in the lead the whole time. They come back in the 4th. Lamar Jackson, I asked it all game, is he clutch? Apparently he is. If we take a look at player stats, Dennis Colberry, 152.8 rating, 367 yards on 74% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, no picks, still absolutely playing like an MVP. Lamar had a pretty good day too, just not quite as good as Dennis. A 104 rating, 311 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Rushing, J.K. Dobbins hit 100 yards. Spears was quiet today, man. He could not get anything going on the ground. His average was only 2.9. A.J. Dillon, on the other hand, he did only have 2 rushes, so super small sample size, but 7.5 per carry. Receiving, of course, Chester Truman had an absolutely absurd day, even though we lost. 11 receptions, 213 yards, and 3 touchdowns for the reigning offensive player of the year. Cole Langford also was huge today. 7 receptions for 100. Everyone else was quiet. Rashad Winters only 2 for 29. Justin Reed had 7 solo tackles. Drew Sanders had 13 total tackles. 2 TFLs for Leonard Williams, Zach Allen, and Drew Sanders. Baron Browning had 1. Bynum had 1. Sertan had 1. And Baptiste had 1. And then we had a ton of guys with half sacks. Baron Browning a half a sack. JL Skinner half a sack. Cameron Bynum, Zach Allen, and Drew Sanders all with half a sack. Cole Langford gets an upgrade after his big day. Needs to work on route running and his just regular catching. We're going to go into a slot upgrade for him. He gets 1 awareness, 2 catching, 1 medium route running, and 1 short route running. So the Broncos take their first loss on the season, 2-1 now after losing to the now 3-0 Baltimore Ravens. Like I said, this is going to be a tough stretch of the season. A lot of good teams we play during this time. That game against Baltimore should have been a dub, and I hope that one does not come back to bite us in our playoff hopes later this season. So this is talking about the rain game, and the rain game that didn't happen. It just wasn't rainy at any point. I'm just going to skip this. There's really no point in talking about this. All offensive linemen will have -3 run block power and and run block finesse for the next game. Fantastic. Of course, we got to mention the new injury. It's to Eddie Jackson. He broke his ribs. He will be out for 4 weeks. So that will promote Dante Wake to the starting strong safety in the meantime. And in week number 4, we'll face off against our former RB1, Javonte Williams. Is a New England Patriot, and I'm sure he is going to absolutely roast us in our week 4 matchup. By losing that game, we are now officially a game behind the Chiefs, which is never a good sign, and we do play them next week. There's a tandem breakout upcoming and a QB1 check-in, so a lot of stuff to look forward to for next week. The weekly awards, I imagine, is Chester Truman. It's not. It's Dennis Colbert again. This definitely should have been Chester Truman. The guy had over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. In the next one, we'll face off against Javonte Williams and the New England Patriots, hopefully improving to 3-1 against a team that is definitely a little bit on the weaker side of our schedule. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate the continued support, as I say every time. If you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out a lot. We're trying to reach 2,000 subs by the end of May is my goal now. But I will see you guys in the next episode where we'll face off against the Patriots.